Just like we promised, it's a nice, juicy comparison between the Panasonic Z85A and the LG C4. Unlike their more expensive OLED counterparts, these models don't have an MLA layer to boost their brightness. But how much dimmer are we talking about here? And how do these two TVs compare to one another? Hi, I'm Abby from Ratings.com, and today we're gonna split all the hairs we can find between the Panasonic Z85A and the LG C4. Let's talk design. The Z85A is not as humongous as the Z95A. It doesn't include a full-blown surround sound system, so it ends up looking just like a regular TV. Next to the C4, these TVs look extremely similar. There's a thick bump on their lower backs where the inputs are, and the rest of the TV is flat. And there's a center-mounted stand. Yep, those are TVs, all right. They also have both their inputs coming out of the left side of the TV when looking at it from the front. That said, the Panasonic has only two 4K at 120Hz HDMI 2.1 ports, while the C4 has four full 4K at 144Hz 2.1 ports. Ouch. Those of you with beefy PC gaming rigs or a ton of HDMI 2.1 devices just perked up, huh? That said, the Panasonic has something up its sleeve. It supports both Dolby Vision and HDR10+, while the LG is limited to only Dolby Vision. On the flip side, the Z85A doesn't pass through any DTS audio formats while the C4 does, so you'll have to evaluate your needs here. You know what they both offer though? Fantastic image quality. That's it. That's the video. Thank you for watching. Like and subscribe, all of that stuff. Oh, but you want to know which one offers the best image quality? Well, even though they're both fantastic OLEDs, they're not identical, except in contrast performance, because all OLEDs are identical there. What they don't have is nearly infinite peak brightness. Now, neither of these TVs have MLA, so they're not as bright as the Z95A and the G4. But between the two, the C4 is the brighter one, and it's noticeable if you look closely. Still, the Panasonic definitely holds its own here, but it's a win for the LG. You like to play a ton of SDR games or you watch SDR content? Get the C4. SDR brightness is a particular weakness of OLED tech, but the C4 performs quite well as it's bright enough in SDR to overcome glare in bright rooms. The Panasonic, not so much. It's almost there, but not quite. And you're likely to find your SDR content a bit too dim for your liking on the Z85A, especially as the Z85A's reflection handling is a bit worse than the C4. So not only is it dimmer, but it struggles a bit more with glare. Don't get us wrong, the Panasonic is still fantastic here, but it's starting to add up. On the other hand, Panasonic is making some noise due to its image processing, as they're now in conversation alongside Sony as having some of the best processing in the business. The LG is no slouch, and they've made some major strides in the last few years, and we can tell you that it compares very favorably to the Panasonic Z85A. In fact, in most ways, it actually exceeds it, especially if you tend to watch low bitrate content from streaming sources, as the C4 does a much better job here than the Z85A. Frankly, it's hard to notice any macro blocking on the C4 as it gets rid of most of it. You'll see a bit of it on the Z85A though. That said, the Panasonic preserves more fine details than the C4, but the overall image isn't quite as pleasant. But if instead you like to watch low resolution content, then the Panasonic will serve you better, as its upscaling performance is extremely strong. Other than Sony, they just might have the best upscaling of any TV brand this year, and that's saying a lot. Fine details are clearer on the Panasonic than on the LG, text is easier to read, it's a very noticeable difference. That's it. If you're thinking, wait, what, already? Well, yeah, that's how similar these two TVs are, as they trade blows back and forth over minute performance advantages. HDR accuracy, slight edge to the Panasonic, but barely. They're both outstanding. Colors, basically identical both ways. SDR accuracy, well, the Panasonic is a bit more accurate out of the box, but purists won't feel the need to calibrate the C4 either. It's that good. Viewing angle, the Panasonic's a bit better, but they're both OLEDs, so they're both truly excellent overall. For gaming, the C4 is better mainly due to having four full HDMI 2.1 ports, and it's especially better for PC gamers due to its 4K at 144Hz capabilities. But outside of that, they perform basically the same. So then, which one should you get? It's a close race, but we'd say the C4, mainly because it tends to be sold for a slightly lower price. And also, while the Panasonic has noticeably better upscaling, it really is its only obvious advantage. The C4 is brighter in HDR outside of game mode, and even in game mode, they're basically equally as bright. The C4 is also noticeably brighter in SDR, with slightly better reflection handling, making it more versatile when it comes to room placement. And while it loses out on upscaling, it performs better with low bitrate content. Finally, gamers will appreciate having 4 HDMI 2.1 ports with 4K at 144 Hz support. Panasonic is aiming at home theater purists, and it hits the target with its upscaling and dual Dolby Vision and HDR10+ support. But what about the lack of DTS audio pass-through? That feels like a miss to us, and it's something they'll likely want to rectify next year. What about an alternative? Well, the most comparable product to these two is the Sony BRAVIA 8, which offers, you guessed it, the best image processing of the bunch. Now, yes, the Panasonic does have slightly better upscaling, but what if you like to watch a ton of streaming content? Or if you want to rock an old school DVD collection now and then? The Sony does it all very well, so you know you'll get great image quality out of your content, no matter its source. Oh, and the BRAVIA 8 is the best of the three when it comes to cleaning out any visible color banding in HDR content. It's also no slouch when it comes to performance. Yes, it's the dimmest of the three in HDR, except in game mode, where it's the brightest by a hair. It is, however, way brighter than the Panasonic in SDR, and it also handles reflections better, so the Sony TV matches the C4 there. Unfortunately, if you care about accuracy, the Sony is the least accurate of the three, especially out of the box in SDR, so purists will want to calibrate it for the best possible experience. And for gamers, well, it's the same old song. 2 HDMI 2.1 ports both capping out at 4K at 120 Hz. Frankly, these three TVs are so similar, this entire video is just one long nitpick session. Maybe we should change our name to nitpick.com, minus the I. Has a ring to it, doesn't it? Anyway, that's all we've got for our comparison of the Panasonic Z85A and the LG C4. You can also check out our comparison of the Panasonic Z95A and the LG G4 if you're itching for more. Or head over to our website to see our full test results and compare the TVs side by side. You can find the links for all that good stuff down in the description below. Until next time, I'm Abby from RTINGS.com, where we help you find the best product for your needs. Dolby. It's the Dolby Vision. Dolby. Oh. Finally, gamers will appreciate having 4 Jesus Christ. How many times have I said that phrase this year? Finally, gamers will appreciate having 4K at 144 Hz HDMI 2.1 ports.